China has built a new airplane, the C919. This jet is a big deal for China, which has long relied on foreign planes from Boeing and Airbus. The C919 is designed to compete directly with these giants, carrying about 168 passengers, ideal for domestic and regional flights. Building a modern jet is a massive challenge involving millions of parts from around the world. The most critical part is the engine, and for now, the C919 uses one made by a US-French company. This means China's flagship jet still depends on Western technology for its heart. China's ultimate goal is to build the entire plane, including the engine, on its own. The C919 is more than a machine. It's a symbol of China's ambition to lead in high-tech industries. The government has invested heavily, hoping the C919 will one day fly for airlines worldwide, not just in China. But the journey is tough. Aviation is a high-stakes industry with strict safety rules and fierce competition. New planes must prove themselves through thousands of hours of testing. Boeing and Airbus have decades of trust behind them. China must earn that same confidence. The C919 must show it's reliable, efficient, and above all, safe. The first C919s are already flying in China, but global success will require more than just good engineering. It's about building trust with airlines, passengers, and regulators. The C919's story is just beginning, and its future will be shaped by technology, politics, and global perceptions. If China succeeds, it could reshape the global aviation market. But for now, the C919 is both a technological leap and a test of China's ability to compete on the world stage. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. Will the C919 soar or stall? Only time will tell. The race for the skies has a new contender. Building a jet engine is one of the toughest engineering feats on Earth. Only a handful of companies, mostly in the US and Europe, have mastered it. Media Group, logos of General Electric, Pratt & Whitney, Rolls-Royce, CFM International, exterior shots of corporate headquarters of jet engine manufacturers, a stock, a distribute, Ramestamergs equally, General Electric, Pratt & Whitney, Rolls-Royce, and CFM International. Their engines power most of the world's commercial jets, including those made by Boeing and Airbus. Even China's C919 relies on a Western engine, the LEAP 1C from CFM International. Russia has its own engine makers, but their technology lags behind in efficiency and reliability. China is racing to develop its own engine, the CJ1000A, but progress is slow and the challenge is immense. Mastering jet engines would free China from Western dependence, a top national priority. But designing, testing, and certifying a safe, efficient engine takes years, even decades. For now, the world's skies are powered by a small club of Western companies. China wants in, but the door is hard to open. The engine is the last and hardest piece of the puzzle. The world is watching to see if China can solve it. In a major move, Russia has agreed to help China develop jet engines. Russian engineers bring decades of experience, while China offers funding and manufacturing power. This partnership could accelerate China's quest for a homegrown engine for the C919. Russia and China have grown closer, united by shared interests and rivalry with the West. By pooling resources, they hope to break the Western monopoly on aviation technology. Russian expertise in engine design and testing is valuable, even if their tech isn't the most advanced. For China, it's a shortcut, learning from Russia's successes and failures. This alliance signals to the West that China is determined to become independent in aviation. If successful, it could create a new force in the global market. The partnership is about more than engines. It's about challenging the old order. The world's aviation landscape may be on the verge of a major shift. The West is watching closely. The game is changing. For China, building its own engine means freedom from Western control. If relations sour, the West could cut off engine supplies, grounding China's aviation ambitions. With Russia's help, China can secure its future in the skies. For Russia, the partnership is a lifeline. After Western sanctions isolated its aviation industry, working with China keeps Russian engineers employed and its industry alive. Together they combine China's money and market with Russia's technical know-how. This could finally break the West's grip on high-tech aviation. The partnership is also a political statement. There's an alternative to the Western-led system. China and Russia are building their own bloc, with their own technology and supply chains. If their joint engine succeeds, it could inspire other countries to look beyond the West. This move could reshape global trade and alliances for years to come. It's about more than planes. It's about power. The world is watching a new bloc take flight. Europe is watching the Russia-China partnership with growing anxiety. Airbus, Europe's aviation giant, faces a new rival if the C919 succeeds with its own engine. A cheaper Chinese jet could steal customers, especially in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. This threatens not just plane sales but also the lucrative business of parts and maintenance. European jobs and economic strength are at stake. There's also concern about safety. Will new Russo-Chinese engines meet strict global standards? Rush development or lower standards could put passengers at risk and undermine trust in air travel. Finally, Europe fears losing its strategic independence as a new aviation bloc rises. The continent is caught between economic ties to China and security ties to the US. The rise of a non-Western aviation industry forces Europe to make tough choices. The world is dividing, and Europe's leadership in aviation is under threat. The stakes are high, for business, safety, and global influence. Europe's skies may never be the same. Russia's current aviation crisis is a cautionary tale. Sanctions have cut off access to Western spare parts, forcing airlines to cannibalize planes and rely on risky workarounds. Some parts are smuggled in, bypassing official safety checks. This black market approach undermines safety and increases the risk of accidents. Aviation incidents in Russia have surged, with more engine failures and emergency landings. Experts warn this is what happens when global safety standards are ignored. For Europe, it's a real-world warning. Cutting corners in aviation can have deadly consequences. The fear is that a new China-Russia bloc might repeat these mistakes. Safety must come before politics. The world can't afford to gamble with lives in the sky. The China-Russia partnership could give many countries a new option in aviation. For decades, airlines had to choose between Boeing and Airbus. A credible C919 with its own engine would break this duopoly. Countries under Western sanctions like Iran could finally buy modern jets. Developing nations might also be tempted by cheaper prices and bundled deals from China. This could create a separate aviation market for countries outside the Western system. Airports worldwide might soon see more C919s, especially in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The global aviation map could be redrawn, with new centers of power and influence. The West's dominance in the skies faces its first real challenge. The world is about to get a lot more competitive and complicated. The Russia-China engine project could split the world's skies in two. One system, led by the West, would keep its strict safety standards and global reach. The other, centered on China and Russia, would have its own planes, engines, and rules. Countries would align with one bloc or the other, creating an aviation iron curtain. Passengers might face different safety standards and fewer direct flights between blocs. Global travel could become more fragmented and uncertain. This isn't just about planes. It's about shifting power and a new world order. The era of a single connected aviation system may be ending. The sky, once a symbol of unity, could become a new battleground. Whether China and Russia can build a safe, trusted alternative remains to be seen. But their ambition is clear, and the world is already feeling the turbulence.